This is Dream Power Radio, the place where your dreams turn into reality. Here is your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman.
Hello, and welcome to Dream Power Radio. I'm your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman, the Dream Coach. This is a show where we talk about dreams, both daytime and nighttime dreams, and how you can use them to make the internal shift to a life you love and rediscover the truth of who you really are. Picture this. A woman wakes up one day and realizes that she's not happy in the corporate job she's in. So she gives a lot of thought to what her real passion is, what it is she really wants to do to feel productive and fulfilled in her life. She comes to realize that she loves to bake and has been making fancy cakes for her family and friends for years. She wonders if she could open up her own business. So she starts to plan for it. She researches her community and sees there's a need for a quality bakery. She works up a business plan and gets a startup loan from her bank to get the space and supplies she needs. She comes up with a clever name and creates a marketing plan to get the word out about her new venture. She's never worked harder in her life and is loving every minute of it. I'd say she was living her dream life. My guest today, Nancy Solari, might put it another way and say she was living full out. Nancy is a founder of Living Full Out, a business designed to help people discover their purpose and create a positive mindset for success. She offers boot camps for personal development and is also a motivational speaker and the host of the Living Full Out radio show. Welcome to Dream Power Radio, Nancy.
Well, thank you for having me. And I'm super hungry now after that story. I'd love one of her baked goods. Yum.
Me too. It's nice that we can have it right at our side here. But Nancy, did I have it right? Would you say that my example is representative of someone who's living full out?
Absolutely. Living full out is about having tenacity. It's about having that drive, that hunger for life, that desire to reach for more. It's tapping into your purpose. And for all those that get purpose early in life, hooray. Sometimes we get it later in life. And then it's also gratitude and enjoying the journey and being willing to turn the page and start over or revamp yourself. So I would say that lady was spot on with living full out.
Well, she is an example of somebody, and again, it's just a hypothetical example, of somebody who realized that she wasn't where she wanted to be in life and did something about it. But what do you think keeps people from following their dreams?
A lot of times people, they're worried that they're going to fail. And for all the friends and family that are supporters over the years, a lot of times they can also be triggers, right? They remember all the times we've succeeded, but they know the times we haven't. And a lot of times people are worried about looking good. It's a kind of a casserole, really. And if you allow yourself to sink into the worries, into the hypothetical, into the woulda, coulda, shouldas, then you're going to get gobbled up. Then you're going to be standing still. You're going to be not able to thrive. But if you are able to say, you know what, if I was in Vegas, I would bet on myself. Or if you were to say, you know what, I'm going to take this one life and make the most of it, then you will succeed. So people just have to believe in themselves and then take that leap of faith. And the key word there is faith, because just like how we have faith in relationships, and that's why people marry each other, right? Just like how we have faith in having business partners, you have to have faith in yourself and know that you have all the right skills, all the right traits to do it.
And what happens when it's hard for you to find that faith in yourself?
Well, that is a great question. The thing about finding that faith is you have to be still. And you have to listen to not the negative thoughts in your mind, but listen to your core, listen to your heart. If money were not an issue, if you could just do something that would bring you pleasure and put a smile on your face, what would that be? A lot of times people feel they have to have a certain career. They have to make a certain amount of money. They have to meet certain expectations. But I also know a lot of people that they work for nonprofits. They volunteer. They're entrepreneurial. They take that risk and they have a service or a product and they believe in it so much they're willing to invest 1 year, 10 years to get it to fruition. So the calmness, the listening to your inner voice, that's what faith is.
And do you recommend doing that by methods such as meditation, for example?
Meditation is really important. I know for a lot of times people, they feel like they need to fill the space with the TV or be on the phone or, constantly be doing, even the microwave, right? Heating up a tea, right? But there's something really special about the quiet. The quiet is when you can dream. The quiet is when you can visualize. The quiet is when you can connect the dots and put that plan together. So meditation is important. I also think surrounding yourself with the right people that do encourage you to reach for more, people that maybe have the career or have that entrepreneurial spirit that you so much want. Because the more you hang around with the people that have that secret sauce, they will naturally elevate you. Make sure you're in an environment that allows you to thrive. Sometimes people need to get out of their home environment and just rent a very small space that they can put things on the wall or have the right lighting, whatever it is that you need to allow yourself to dream, to allow yourself to take action.
It's true. And, people like artists and writers kind of know this because they will literally go on a retreat so they can focus on what's inside them and allow themselves the space for it to come out. So absolutely.
Very important. Mm-hmm.
One of the other things that you deal with in your program is helping people deal with adversity. Mm-hmm. As someone who is legally blind, you've certainly had your share of adversity. So how do you help people with this?
Well, I personally love adversity, and I think we all have it. It doesn't matter if you were picked on as a youngster. It doesn't matter if you've gone blind like me. Maybe you've encountered abuse over time or addiction. But those are really important moments. Those moments where we're kind of in the trenches, where we've hit our rock bottom. Those moments where our faith is wavers. Those moments where we have a gulp, a tightness in our throat. You need those moments sometimes to allow us to have that winning moment. So everybody loves a good movie, right? Where there's a little bit of drama and then all of a sudden at the end, it all wraps up with a bow and everybody's happy, right? That's a lot like how life is. You need a little bit of that drama. You need that moment to rally, that moment to be resilient, that moment to have adversity and overcome it, to be able to have that winning moment, to get the pearls of wisdom. So when I think about going legally blind, it has not been a walk in the park. I mean, I have to learn so many talking devices and keystrokes on my computer because I can't use a mouse and on and on and on and on. I mean, it's a lot of extra work on top of a long day. But my ability to connect with people, I don't see homeless. I don't see cultural or race. I don't see any of that. I meet people based upon their aura, upon their handshake, their hug, their voice. And it's really become liberating for me. I don't even see competition. I don't see why people are so turned off on social media because they're comparing, what others are doing. I don't see that either. I never realized just how freeing being blind would be.
That is an amazing thing because most people would see your situation and say, oh, how unfortunate. And it's amazing that you've been able to twist it around and turn it to your best advantage.
Oh, completely. And I have so many friends that have different health conditions and other disabilities. And I think that they would say the same thing. They wouldn't do it any other way. Now that they know the gift that comes with that adversity, they wouldn't want to go back to being quote, quote, normal. How boring.
This is true. A while back, I was on a retreat and I came up with a phrase. I don't know if I made it up or I heard it from someplace and it just came out. But So I apologize to anybody who created it in the first place, but it has served me well. And it's the dark night of the soul leads to the dawn of a new creation. So that when we come out from the depths, when we get to that dark place, we can go to heights we never imagined if we allow ourselves to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that, again, it's interesting, the word dark, because why is dark bad? In the dark, there's peace, there's calm. In the dark, that's when we sleep in the dark. I don't know a lot of people that sleep with the lights on. In the dark is when we oftentimes go and watch a movie. Good things can happen in darkness. Good things can actually happen in moments where we struggle. You just have to look for that silver lining, look for that lesson to learn.
And I tell you, it's also another example of the power of language. Because like you said, the word that some people look at as a negative thing, it can be a very positive thing if you look at it the right way. And so many times we will aim those negative words at ourselves, which doesn't allow us to live full out.
Yeah, and that is, you nailed it right there. That what we say to ourselves in our mind that no one hears, what we say to ourselves when we're at home, when we talk out loud, we all do it, right? It's like we're in a daytime soap opera and we're doing a monologue, right? Those are very powerful. And what your ears hear it, your heart hears it, your core hears it. And that's where that faith comes in again, where you have to override it. I actually even say, when I have a negative thought come up, I say out loud, go away, go away. And I tell it to go away. I choose for it to go away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is amazing, because we don't think about, sometimes we even think we're afraid to talk out loud when we're alone. Like the invisible people who aren't there will think we're crazy or silly.
Or our pets. But yeah, I think it's fantastic to talk out loud. And I wish more people would do that. I wish more people, when they're composing an email, whether it's work or a personal thing, before you hit send, read it out loud. Or if you are reading a book, you can internally take it in your mind and enjoy that experience, or make it your own talking, narrated ebook and read it out loud. There's just a lot of power in hearing something if you can.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to get back to that subject of adversity again, because one piece of adversity we've all had to deal with has been the pandemic. Did you face any particular challenges because of your visual impairment?
Wow. You know what? I actually got COVID. And I will tell you, when I had the fever and I had all that happening and I was feeling really fatigued, there was a night when, because right now, being legally blind, I can't see details. I can't see faces. I can't see edges. I can't read anything, but I can at least see light and dark. It's blurry. But it's light and dark. But there was this one night when I think the fever got to me and I could not see. I got up, I went in the hallway, I turned on the light, dark. I went in the bathroom, I turned on the light, dark. I even went outside to go walk my dog at 9 a.m. in the morning, and it could have been 10 p.m. at night. COVID had changed my vision. It had stressed my eyes out, and it was very weird. Now, was I scared? I wasn't scared because I'm not scared of that word dark. And I wasn't scared because when you've gone through, my family had domestic violence, and, I've had 5 miscarriages, and I've, dealt with blindness. When you've gone through many different struggles, that fear meter becomes less and less. I was amazed. I was bewildered. I was maybe a little bit worried, hoping it would come back, and it did come back. But I think that is the important thing about adversity and being willing to soak up that moment, because it makes us stronger. It makes us less fearful. It makes us ready for that next crossroad.
I want to talk so much more about this, but we're going to take a short break now. We are speaking about living full out with Nancy Solari, and we'll be right back.
When is a car not a car? When it shows up in your dreams. Cars are one of the most common dream symbols. If you don't know why you're dreaming about cars or any image, it can leave you confused or scared.
But that dream could be a solution to a pressing problem.
Or an insight into a solution that's been bugging you for years. Go to my website and sign up for a complimentary discovery session, and I'll help you understand why a dream is a terrible thing to waste.
Go to thedreamcoach.net for more information.
Welcome back to Dream Power Radio with your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman.
Yes, welcome back to Dream Power Radio. I'm your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman, and we're talking about living our perfect life. I wouldn't say perfect life, but living the life that we really want to live with Nancy Solari. Nancy, right before the break, you touched on something I want to expand on a little bit, and that's the whole idea of fear. Because I think fear, so many people are afraid to change, to make that step because of fear. So how do you help people deal with fear?
Well, fear is just one of those things that it's mind over matter. It really is. We can be in fear that somebody's going to break into our home, but they haven't broken into our home. So why are we fearing something that hasn't happened? We can fear, oh gosh, I'm going to go on that dating site and I'm going to meet a stalker, or I'm going to go on there. I'm just going to waste money, waste my time. That's fear. But then there's the what if game. What if you meet the love of your life? What if you find a new friendship? So fear is one of those things that really cuts us off at the knees. It doesn't allow us to walk forward. It doesn't allow us to thrive, to live full out. And the thing about fear I want everybody to know is it's that voice in your head that is not your friend. Okay, we all have that voice in our head that is not our friend. So the minute you start to fear something, know that it's that part of you that's not your friend. You need to tell it to go away. You need to tell it that it doesn't have a home here. Okay, you are a living full out person. You are happy. You are thriving. So again, you're saying words to basically stump that fear. You're taking your power back. Really important.
Another thing that maybe can cause fear or cause somebody to feel like they're being held back is when they get resistance from their loved ones, when they're making a change in their life and maybe their partner feels threatened, or their close friends are worried that they won't want to be friends anymore, or something is happening. So how does somebody deal with resistance from others?
Well, you can't take that resistance from the other person because maybe they like it. Maybe in their repertoire of who they are, that's kind of their go-to. And I say that because you want to love people, you want to support people, you want to be fair to people, be aware of people, be inclusive, all of that. But you also have to make sure that you remember that everybody has their own agenda. They have their own fears. They have their own makeup of how they grew up. And all you can do is serve to be that anchor in their storm when they need you most. But you have to be able to control yourself, your thoughts, your feelings. Give yourself every shot to override that fear and choose to thrive instead. The thing about fear that I also want to say real quick, if I can, is that fear is one of those things where it can actually birth you into an area that is good. So if somebody does fear starting a business, that's okay, because maybe there's education you need to get before you spend money unwisely. If somebody fears, I don't know if I want to go date because I don't feel like I'm ready, or I want to lose weight first. Okay, let's listen to that fear. Maybe that before you go on, let's work out. Let's join a gym. So it's all about taking that fear and finding that way to make it a positive.
It's always good to find a way to make something, turn a negative into a positive.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of positive, one of the things that helped me immensely to get through the pandemic was taking on the practice of gratitude. And I know that gratitude plays a role in your program as well. So tell me how that fits into living full out.
Well, gratitude is one of those things that I think we practice it even when we don't know we are, because everybody has gratitude for shelter. We really do. And anybody who has recently been sick, they understand that being sick and tired of being sick and tired feeling, right? They have gratitude for their health. But gratitude is one of those things that we have to be somewhat intentional about. I do have my own gratitude journal where I write things down. I am constantly telling my team, my Living Full Out family, that I'm grateful for all the things that they do. It's amazing when you say a positive feedback or a compliment to someone, how much it can, increase their day and make it happier. The thing about the pandemic that I think a lot of people fell into is they fell into that every day became the next day. I think people worried about the scarcity of food, toilet paper, right? They worried about what is this new world going to look like? Will the virus be with us forever? But do you see how all of that is fear? All of that is just feeding that dragon. And the thing is, I chose during the time of the pandemic to talk to people on the phone. I think I actually talked to more people during the pandemic than I did prior to, because, life kind of slowed down. I took that time to do a lot of writing. I took that time to be in gratitude. So again, it's a choice. And if somebody can take the time of the pandemic and it can be done, 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 or you can take that time of the pandemic and work out, start a business, journal, whatever that is.
And actually, you don't even need a pandemic to embark on any of those things.
No, you don't. Nope.
Absolutely. I always love to hear examples. So do you have any examples of somebody who has started living full out as a result of your program?
Yeah, we have so many good ones. I won't call them out by their name, but there's one lady in particular. She's a senior. She's close to 80. And she was kind of feeling just a lot of which we all have felt, like the political pressure. She was saddened by just seeing how the world was changing. And she felt like this was her golden time of her life and she should be traveling and living out her best years. But the pandemic was having her not fly and be weary about going out and that kind of thing. And we worked together and we kind of created a new normal for her. And she found her way back to playing cards and dominoes with friends. She found her way back to traveling and just really enjoying life. And she now monitors how much of the political chat or how much of the negative news that she's willing to take in. Like, she's choosing what she listens to. And so she went from being or feeling like a victim of the pandemic to now saying, okay, I'm moving on. I'm going to gobble life up. And so I'm super proud of her. We also have another client of ours who, it was a couple actually, we worked with them, and they had tossed and turned about selling their house and making a move to be closer to family. And we'd worked with them for several years and they were kind of dragging their feet. And eventually they just did it. And maybe the pandemic helped tip them over the edge. They said, now is the time to be closer to our loved ones. We don't want to miss another Thanksgiving. We don't want to miss another birthday. There's no reason why we should be states away from each other. They listed their home. They didn't get exactly the price they wanted, but they made that move. And it was very liberating, letting go of their furniture, selling it off, giving it away. And now they're excited for that new adventure, a new place, new furniture, a new life. And I think that you can never be too old. You can never say that turning that page, making that move isn't worth it, because part of living full out is having those sweaty palms, feeling those butterflies in your stomach, feeling like you're living, truly living full out.
Mm-hmm. And one of the mottos of this program is, it's never too late.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's funny because when I was like 25, I thought, oh, it's too late to change careers. I'm stuck where I am at 25.
Gosh, if I could go back and be 25 again.
It seems so silly to be saying that now, but I truly, truly, truly believed it at the time. So, and you can change at any time, whether it's 25 or 85.
And I think that one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves is becoming masters at pivoting, right? Pivoting in the smallest of ways and the biggest of ways. If you're in a career and you're not happy, pivot. Try something new. If you walk into a restaurant, you're just not quite sure, the line's too long, you know what? Pivot, go next door, try a new restaurant. I think a lot of times we feel like we have to go a certain way or do a certain action, but the mastering of pivoting is really important too.
That's a very important point to make about this. And it ties in a little bit with what I want to ask you about next, because whenever we embark on something new, the trajectory is never just straight up. There's always peaks and valleys. Maybe a general climb up, but there are down points as well. So how do you stay motivated when things aren't going the way you want them to go?
A deep breath on that one, right? I'm a pretty happy person, but I'll tell you, none of us escape when things go sideways, when things unexpectedly pop up. And that's why I took that breath. I find that it's really important to surround myself, again, with people that elevate me, people that are looking to grow just like me. And it's important to have those Fab Five or have that tribe or have that sphere of influence, whatever you want to call that. So important. I also find that when I go to bed at night, I don't watch the news. I don't put dark thoughts in my mind. I listen to inspirational music, or I listen to speakers that have a really good tone that kind of puts me to sleep, but I'm putting those positive ideas in my mind. And when I wake up again, sometimes I'll watch the news just really briefly to get the weather and that kind of thing. But I actually fill up my condo with music, positive music. I love songs. And I choose the mantra for how my day is going to go. From beginning to end, it's almost like a play. You're living your movie. You're living your life story. You get to write it, how it starts and how it ends. Now, again, we're going to have that drama, right? Everybody needs a little drama. That's where that adversity comes in. That's where that ability to overcome, to be resilient comes in. So know that nothing's going to be to plan, but you have the ability to choose positivity over negative every time.
Well, on that note, I must say we are just about out of time. So I just have time for one final question, which is, How can people find out about you and your work?
Oh, that's kind of you. Well, first of all, they can go to livingfullout.com. That's the main hub. And when they go there, they can learn about our personal development boot camp. I actually do an Ask Nancy column for many different publications, and they can see where we are there. And I do a lot of Q&A with readers. They can get access to all 7 of our social media sites. We're on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, you name it, all of them, LinkedIn. And the one thing I want everyone to know is we're really about meeting you where you are. Some people love picking up a book, smelling it, reading it, taking it in, curling up on a couch with it. Other people, they need video, audio. That's how they learn best. So we provide all those different avenues for you so that you can live full out.
Wonderful. Nancy, thank you so much for being on Dream Power Radio today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we've been speaking about creating a powerful life with Nancy Solari. I hope you've enjoyed today's program. If you have, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Until next time, this is Debbie Spector-Weissman saying, sweet dreams, everybody.
You've been listening to Dream Power Radio with your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman. For more information on Debbie or to sign up for her newsletter, go to dreampowerradio.com. This has been Dream Power Radio.